And look at the aggression down on Ivy. Already RPK going to take the straight up fight. Stunning little double comes back to back, but it's put to bed by Olofmeister in the end, taking him down. So down to the 3v3 here. The T side still going to continue with this aggression, pressuring that open bomb site.
JW trying to wrap around now as Scream is sort of pushed into a corner, but Olofmeister just destroyed by, it's not even Scream, it's Smiths further back that ends up picking up the kill. And all of a sudden G2 with a strong grasp. Fnatic trying to find a way to wrangle out of that, but they can't seem to get good positions. JW trying to sneak back around here, but Smiths can hear him. That's still a good shot from JW, and again we'll be evened out down to 2-on-2.
Look at these angles they're coming in from as well. Flusher and JW in a really nice spot to make these guys work. It's going to be tough for G2 to weather the storm, and they're not already. Scream going down, leaves it to Body in the 1v2. JW's got 40 HP, but he finds Flusher, but he can't find any more, and that's JW to close it down. Fnatic pick up the first and already the...
Okay, nicely done from him, and we will get into the second round where the investment comes out from Fnatic. 2 AKs in the mix on both Dennis and Olofmeister. A third as well coming out from JW, prioritizing that. And G2 have gone for the second round force. 2 scouts on both Body and Smiths.
And a straight up stack here. Look how many players are on the A site for G2. They've said, okay, we'll leave B up to the gods for a couple of seconds here. Put a couple of players towards the boost. Shox has eventually pulled himself back around with the Deagle, but he's playing extremely passively. So almost saying, all right, if we have to take this, at least I get the info. I won't be able to take up straight up battle there, but he now has Body with him, and they've reset. So a bit of an all-in look towards A. Said, all right, they're not going for that fast play again. Let's reset the pace. Let's play a little bit more default. And this is all about the tags getting a bit of damage here for the CT side. The Scout and Deagle combo is still just as deadly. It can do work. And Fnatic needs to respect that, and it looks like they are. They've gone back to a slower, more default approach.
Moving away from the areas towards Ivy now. They start to line themselves up. Dennis still holding the bomb up on top of the ladder room, leaving an option open to go for really either side at this point, but with 4 stacked up in the inner sight, and Olofmeister actually getting tagged down at 29 HP. That's going to press him out of here, and it looks like they're going to commit themselves to the take on inner instead. They do have Body hiding a little bit further back here, trying to go for the jump scout shots, but Fnatic still being pretty quiet about this with only 40 seconds left.
And G2 have committed quite some large degree of players over towards B. Scream's actually backed away from it, but Smith's pulled himself over. Shock's playing out by CT. You've got 4 players from Fnatic already on the site. The bombs can be planted. They've given up so much room here. G2, they haven't been able to get the initial damage done that they would have wanted with those Deagles, and now it just might turn into the shooting gallery that Fnatic was wanting.
Smiths, unfortunately, leaving his head up there a little bit too long, trying to go for the scout shots on upper. It doesn't pay off. That's a good shot from Crims at very long range to take down Scream. Body has a response for that one, moving back in. And yeah, Shock's finding another pickup there too. So CT is slowly being punished, but Crims moving in. There's another one for him. Dennis still holds this angle. It takes RPK a minute, but he does find the kill. Ultimately, though, into this 1-on-2. There's not a whole lot of room to work with, so time to run away. Still has the scout in hand, along with armor and an upgraded pistol. That's a lot to carry into the third round, so look to save that and give the second one to Fnatic.
He himself already had the 5-7, so gonna split that over with Smiths, give him the scout, and stick on the 5-7 himself. Outside of that, looking at Fnatic, however, a nice buy coming out. Flusher gonna be the man pretty much at the forefront for them to try and claim these frags at least, if he can, try and build up that bank as fast as possible. And already a very quick start towards that B site.
And this round, of course, you're really only gonna have those guns that was carried out at the end of the last one there by G2. So they're going to go for the very light investment this time, and Fnatic looking to farm the cash. Keep in mind, they did lose a lot there, so a lot of rebuys coming in, still keeping their money under control too. But this is the round where they should, in theory, be able to push through it without too much of an issue. Still holding back, still being passive, just in the event that G2 tried to do something a little bit more aggressive to catch them off guard and find a couple of those drops. But as soon as the timer runs down low enough, we will start to see Fnatic push their way in. And we already have Olofmeister now pushing his way out from the T-connector. Not a whole lot to be seen for him, as he's sneaking his way now up the short alley, where he will find RPK around the corner in just a moment. But beyond that, it doesn't look like anybody from the CT side is going to spot up the first encounter. Catches RPK looking the complete wrong direction, and it's basically for free to start it off.
Spotting out 2 more players as well. Olof has a great idea as to how many people are still on this A site. Now, actually losing out on that rifle could be a little bit of a problem here, but with no armor to supplement it, it's going to be tough to work with. Now, Fnatic have taken what they can, and they've pushed themselves towards B. Bomb is down. JW almost had a little bit of a worry there, but Flush has found his place with that MAC-10, and that's what he wants to be doing, getting these kills as much as possible. No armor with the CTs means this is a tough one. And Flushes at Mac 10 should be able to do more damage, but he's not pushing directly for it. Still being fairly respectful here, but you can see JW wanting more and gets punished. Smith takes his head off and down to a 3v2. This shouldn't be winnable. There's no kit on the CT side, but more damage than Fnatic would be wanting to be taking here.
G2 poking holes at the aggression from Fnatic there, but the good news is that the initial play from Olofmeister bought the time that was needed for the rest of the team to push to the B site. They're still going to win this round regardless, and basically it's just a bit of a standoff now between Smiths and Flushet, still sitting further back on the site. They'll try to evacuate now. Smith is going to find a surprise in front of him. He does actually get the no-scope with the
onto that. Going to be a glass cannon, but the one thing I want to point out is he's not alone on this. They've gone for a double AWP, both glass cannon, Shocks as well picking it up. So this is a massive investment into this round for G2, and quite the risky one to say the least. And Fnatic well set, full buy coming into this one. And look at this play from FNC already. Fnatic taking their time here. You've got two players looking towards B, well, one should I say, mostly Flusher here. Dennis supporting, ensuring no one can come up pop, and the other three putting down those smokes towards A, putting a couple of plays into place, but I'm wondering if they can actually build off the back of this, or if it's just a clever ruse. At the moment, it looks like there is some commitment here. Oh, and Shocks and Smiths line them up, knock them down. That's three back-to-back, there's the fourth, and this has been a clean round from G2. The clinical start that they would have wanted here, and Flusher knows this one's all but done.
Those for being so sloppy on G2's side of it, just so well calculated, and Fnatic, they don't find anything there in their attempts to push out to the site. Flush is kind of left wondering, well, what exactly happened there, guys? As there was only 3 damage done to anybody on G2. Screams hit a little bit, but that's it. Those ops on both Smiths and Shocks do some serious work. And disallows for Fnatic, even getting an inch into the A-bomb site.
You can argue Fnatic probably didn't expect there to be 2 AWPs already facing them at this point, 1 maybe at most, but there you have it. That's only going to keep their attention now pulled towards this game, and Shocks to close out. So both AWPs doubling up in this one, 2 for 2 for them.
Iskin taking that too, buying up so heavily. If we'd seen Fnatic catch those entries, it could have gone a completely different direction, and G2 would have ended up messing themselves up economically here very early on, which can prove fatal for certain teams if they're not able to manage it properly. But Fnatic were the ones that ended up being caught off guard by that one, and to a big dividend, those ops pick up most of the kills in that final round. Getting into this one though, Fnatic still go for the investment. Olofmeister downgrading himself to a scout, and JW not even bringing a real gun into the mix, just a P250. Still the slow approach from these players, but G2 ultimately will hold the big advantage.
G2 have the pace of the game now into hand. They are stacking a massive amount of players towards A at the point. Body pretty much playing B all on its own. No one all that close to rotate towards. Playing a lot of players towards that back of Ivy. By Train 1 down there. And it does mean there's so much pressure if Fnatic do go for these A hits. And it looks like maybe that could be a possibility again. You've got JW and Olof posturing towards that A hit. And then you've got Crims, Dennis, and Flusher down by the, just above pop, so they can easily make those quick, fast hits. But Scream getting curious here could be a real problem. If he pushes up and isolates one of the 2 approaches Fnatic are going for, that is a huge loss to be operating with.
Good initial smoke, too, is going to push Smiths over here towards Heaven, and he misses his first stop shot. Scream, though, shutting down both Crims, Olofmeister, and even a third on the Flusha. There's those headshots that he's talking about, but Dennis as well has some power to himself. Moving in, finds RPK and Scream, but just JW now, and all he's got is that little P250, which Smiths is going to punish as well.
The boys of Fnatic have to bounce back from this. They need to get into these gun rounds. Those pistol rounds look good. That's not enough against G2 here.
Bit unfortunate for Smiths that he can't actually stop the plant from happening at the end of the day, so there is that bonus money that comes in from Fnatic, and now you're going to see a couple extra grenades and whatnot coming in here or there on the buy, but still, a shutdown from G2, another very clean round, only elevates their own economy, which is kind of getting into dangerous territory now. Basically, everybody except for RPK is in a position to go for a full rebuy, if not a second, if we should see Fnatic to start picking up a few rounds here.
All right, 3-3. Let's see how Fnatic approaches this now, because the big thing before was the fact that when they came into it with the guns, they maybe didn't expect that double AWP to be in practice. Now they know it's there. Smiths and Shocks have given away some sort of the game, but look at Body looking for a touch of aggression, gets punished down instantly. Flusher just connecting to him through the box itself. Takes a little bit of damage himself, but enough to kind of stave off the walls for now. And it's going to come down to keeping control of these sites with less players than ideal. They're down to 4 here, so a little bit tough. But Shocks is going to take on the B side by himself. He's going to be the solo standing bastion for G2 on that one. But Fnatic, they're still playing default. They've gone, okay, we've got the early advantage. This is great for us.
Shock's interesting thing for him too is he's just 100% keeping his eyes on the upper entrance. They have nobody to check, so right now in theory anybody could just walk right down the ramp into the B bomb site and no one would be the wiser. In fact, Shocks might leave himself a bit out in the open because of that, so need to be careful. He's now going to move Looks like a little bit closer to Z to try to watch out for that, but Fnatic, as they've been playing so far in this entire half, they're not giving anything away. It's so quiet, so hesitant, not necessarily hesitant, but just so slow-paced from Fnatic here, as they want to keep G2 guessing until the final moment that they rush out onto the site.
And it looks like Shox is going to be the one to receive it all. 5 players here. No one able to get the info on towards A that there's no one else coming through. Scream pushed up a bit but saw nothing. So, Shox, you better be prepared for what Fnatic's about to throw at you. First smoke goes down, sees nothing. They're actually not pushing off it just yet. They're still waiting, quite patiently. Now JW's starting to pin. Now Flusher's coming in. Here comes Smith as well. They're rotating over. Flusher already out by the side. Bomb going to be put down by Dennis. And this is a 4v5 retake. This is massive amounts of numbers left up. This is going to be a very messy round, but there you go. RPK finding a Lofmeister. Smith comes in with one for himself. We're down to 3. JW's going to take it onto himself, but he can't do it. It's Shox still standing, and now down to 2. Dennis and Crims have to hold back G2 themselves.
Moving in, we can see Scream picking up the frag onto Dennis, so just Crims left up and running, but he does have the Molotov to toss over onto the bomb now. It's going to be covering it. Might have been thrown out a bit too early here, but Crims can move out. Unfortunately, no flashbang or anything else to support him. As soon as he walks out, Scream's going to be waiting for him here, tries to take down the diffuser, but Scream is ready for it. Closes out the round yet again.
And now 4 players waiting to receive. RPK pushing up as well on Ivy is going to make this harder for Olaf to have any impact here.
And already Smith's just firing off the shots. Finds JW, looks for another one. He knows someone's there, the number 8 man. That's going to be Olafmeister wrapped around the corner, and these other guys are stuck, but Shox, somehow that shot doesn't connect onto either of them. And now moving out, what just happened? Switches out the gun, he's burning alive. Dennis and Crims are going to find 2 kills. Smiths and RPK are there to support, but Dennis again with a quick headshot takes down Smiths. And we'll be into a 2-on-2 with Fnatic having full control over the outside site.
And they know that Body's been positioned at B. They know this for sure, but RPK's position, maybe not as well known, but he's known to be playing over by Ivy. So looking at Fnatic, how do they position themselves? Dennis, going to try and take some real estate here, go looking for a little bit of something down by the old bomb train, but Body's just behind that. So again, this could be quite deadly. Crims waiting for more. Body's starting to push up. They know he's going to come this way. Dennis takes a step out, takes the fight and wins it. It's down to RPK in the 1v2. Finds Dennis, but can he find any more? It's Crims in the 1v1. Smoke goes down. RPK fakes it out. Looking for the fight. He finds Crims as well. It's RPK being solid as ever. And in the last couple of seconds of the defuse, he will bring it in, and G2 retains what minds as a possibility. And it could all be a fake. It could all be a ruse. Fnatic have 1 minute and 35 seconds to lay out their plan.
Flusher wasting no time getting himself to the entrance there, to the upper area of the B bomb site, hoping he can catch anybody from G2 that might have taken an aggressive position. Not going to be found, of course, as G2 are holding back, but it's got to be Body, and he doesn't find anything. This is exactly what Fnatic want. They want to cause chaos in the site and get control before G2 can even react to it. Moving back in, and they're even pushing forward now, too. Olafmeister with the pickup, Flusher with the second. RPK responds, but Flusher finding another one. Scream's the last one going, but he's stuck behind a Molotov, so Fnatic's plan has worked perfectly.
And everyone barring Dennis surged forward there. Every single one of them played in towards those smokes. They pushed up to try and get G2 on that back foot, and there you have it. JW recovers it, and that's one of those classic Fnatic rounds that you see so often. And a lot of teams will think, okay, well, the best they can get out of this is a plant, which is what you kind of imagine. You go, okay, well, if they get a plant, a couple of kills, that's probably what you operate incredibly well on it. So now G2 needs to be ready to receive the storm coming their way on a full buy.
Fnatic had established the status quo of fairly slow-paced plays, waiting down the timer, and that sudden increase of pace just was not ready for G2, essentially, as they were caught so much off guard, but that one Body cannot handle it. So Olafmeister as well this time is going to move very quickly outside into the short lane on the outer site, but Smiths punishes it swiftly as well, taking him down. But the response coming in from JW outside of Ivy takes down RPK, and Flusher almost eliminated by Screen, but he is able to get back and keep himself safe for now.
And that's the first time we've really seen RPK removed away from that Ivy position this early on. He hasn't been giving that up at all. So that could be a really nice way for Fnatic to start pressuring G2 a little more, because Shox and Scream have been fairly safe in the pocket of RPK there, saying, well, you take your time. You do your AWPing thing, you do your rifling thing. I'll keep this under wraps. Now with that gone, you're going to see them in the back of their minds going, oh, is JW going to push up? Are they going to make a play from it? No, Fnatic have gone back to that, not necessarily a default, but just taking their time on this building elsewhere. They have everything they need. Look at all the utility they still have, 50 seconds remaining here. They've got all the smokes, they've still got both of the AWPs, and they're going to go for a B hit, and it's all going to be Body. Smiths and Scream can rotate quickly. Shox finding JW is going to help. That could speed up the rotate process, because here comes the hit. Body has to be ready.
There's still no increased rotate pace, though, because of the fact that they find that earlier kill, so Body is going to be overwhelmed. He's got no support to help him out here. Smokes and Molotovs now coming out to hold the rest of G2, rotating in from the A site back, but there's a good start for Shox, taking down Crims, and now moving back in. Players from Fnatic are holding a little bit more aggressive positioning, but Flusher holds true, takes down Smiths. Into a 2v2 we go, and the timer's still ticking away. Flusher waiting for that repeat from Shox. He knows he's sitting back there somewhere, but Just can't find him. And Dennis also creeping forward up to the train stoppers, but there's a quick shot from Shox. Takes down what? Flusha gets 2!
Is massive. 6-5 now. G2 still with the lead, but look at their money. It's been broken. The back of the beast is now pretty much in tatters, as it looks like Fnatic is starting to gain some momentum, starting to gain that control. Off the back of that pause, it seems to have worked out again.
The stars align for Flusha to find that final kill there. Both of those final kills, I suppose you could say, as he is going to be able to pick up yet another one for Fnatic. And now that they've established control again, look, they just go right back to the more restricted, more reserved pace that they were using earlier on in this game. Now that they have the advantage against G2, they can try to trick them off a little bit here by running down the timer a lot more.
And if you're G2, it's so hard to start reading into those rounds, isn't it? Because how can you account for Flusha hitting those sort of shots? How can you account for anything that Fnatic does in those instances? It's not an easy thing to, you know, go, okay, well, tactically, how can we change this? It's just a Fnatic thing, you know? It's very, very tough mentally to break into. So for G2, might just have to be one of those where you have to just close your eyes and grit your teeth and bear through this at the moment, because Fnatic are starting to posture towards B. 3 players on the B site, though. So Smith's body and Shox ahead of the punch here, and so Scream actually. So Fnatic walking into quite the stack at the moment. Dennis might find that out very soon. Let's only line up, the body hits the shot. Dennis goes down, body again, finds JW. There's good work coming in, but Crims, forever consistent.
Crim's not being punished at all. They're literally just standing up top, picking away at them. So 3 kills for him. RPK tries to turn the tables, but...
Nice fallback position to go to, but double up's back out for G2 here.
For the G2 side of things, still leaving Body as the main and currently only defender here in the B-bomb site. Shox is ready to move back and offer some additional support if need be, but look at Fnatic, how heavily they're pushing into Ivy all of a sudden. This is new from them too. Crims, Olafmeister, along with the bomb carrier, JW, all pushing in, ready to move, but there is a dangerous presence from G2, also hiding on the outside. It doesn't matter though. Crims walks right up and takes down RPK. Here's Shox with the up though. This is the first line of defense in the site itself, but JW is ready for the peak on the bomb train, and Crims is still fragging as well. Smiths is here. He's been a big player so far in this match too that we haven't talked a lot about, but can't find anything from the top of the ticket booth. He's going to get smoked back out, and these guys have to fall back. If they even are going to attempt the retake at this point, it's going to be a long process to wrap all the way around again.
It truly is, and going for this could be pretty dangerous and pretty tough. Considering Fnatic made that so quick and such a fast hit, they still have so much to put into play. JW's still got a smoke, a nade, a flash. They're very well set for this, and I think obviously G2 are respecting that. They're going to walk away and try and keep these weapons as long as possible, and Fnatic, they could maybe hunt for 1, maybe 2, but at the end of the day, they're going to retain these themselves and just be very, I guess, respectful of each other in this instance. But it does look like Fnatic have started to work out they can exploit Ivy a little more than before. Of course, RPK did have that 1 big round, but beyond that, that 3-stack play coming through hasn't been met with too much aggression. Crims going to go for a look. And yeah, for G2, they might need to change something up here. I'm wanting to see maybe some aggression somewhere on the map. But again, it's hard to put yourself in that mindset when Fnatic have been overrunning you.
It feels like, for me, the biggest area, which, I mean, for the past couple of rounds hasn't been too big of an issue, but just for B hits, they need to give some extra support to Body, because it's becoming very clear that he cannot hold this site all on his own. Talk more about that in a minute, though, as the first combat's already getting started. Scream, although he is met initially with some damage from Crims, he responds to it with a headshot, taking him down. The rest of Fnatic, they're not even trying to go for this site. That was the primer there to keep them in here. They are free to rotate now to the inner site where the actual combat's going to go down.
Well, this is what you want to see, some support for Body. And, well, eventually he's got it. Shox has got himself over to be quite early on. So not going to be retaken by the time Fnatic are already out, who are notoriously very aggressive once they get that plant position under wraps. So JW forced to back away. Can't take the initial fight, but here comes the push from that lower B ramp. It's Shox to find Dennis, so now they know there's trouble afoot. They know there's more than that 1 player Body, and Shox has still got room to work, but Olafmeister just dissembles him, and look at this! Olafmeister has been let loose finally. 10 HP has to back out of this, and gets caught up in the end by Smiths. Now 1v3 is down to JW, and the bomb's loose. It has not been planted. He'd have to fight back in tooth and nail for it, and hell, he's gonna go for it! 6 shot towards Smiths, and now 1v2. Scream already low, 12 HP. RPK already on the site, though. G2 have the numbers, but it's still JW.
JW nicely played, and such a lot of hesitation coming out there as well from Smiths, but the jump down, it's not going to surprise it into the mix of things now, but look at how heavy the push is from G2. 4 players going Ivy. Dennis is going to have himself a battle right at the start of this, and he is not ready for it at all. Flusha with a quick response, but now the tide is flowing into the A-bomb site.
Fnatic know exactly what's coming their way. Flusha's got the perfect position for it. Already catches out 2. Shox and Body get absolutely punished. And can there be a 3rd added to the kill count for him? But no, it's going to be Crims to keep this one in check in the end, leaving Scream in the 1v2. Olafmeister and Crims having to deal with what Scream can bring, but position pretty duly noted by now. Crims, I've just seen that shoulder peek he has. He's not going to miss the shot.
Does get a deagle donated over towards him, so he will still have that for himself, but the rest of these guys are going to fully upgrade with armor included.
And looking almost reminiscent of that first round, however, Smith's this time joining Scream, and the other three going down by Ivy. So looking for a bit of a pinch here. Not too easy to succeed in, as Dennis did trade out before, and then Flusher, of course, had the great position. But Scream looking for a couple of pixels out of place to find some punishment towards, but it's going to be a very cautious and a very dug-in Fnatic here.
And they do, again, push in through Ivy. 3 players this time instead of the full 4, with the other 2 looking to push their way in through T-Con a little bit later on, but as they jump out, Dennis is ready. Quick response from Shox and RPK finding a second. They found a way out. Now it's about closing it down, as Crims up in heaven is still a very imposing force, and not only him, but JW moves in too, able to eliminate Shox. Found a good start. There's a good shot from Scream, able to eliminate all of Meister. Crims still steady as ever though, waiting for Smiths. Scream can't find the angle to try and close this out. He's got the long range that needed to try and take down some of these players, and he's got both of them down to around half HP as well. Just that Fnatic are not going to give him any room to work with here. They'll just run down the timer and play it patiently.
They need to as well. He's still such a deadly player. Can pose a huge, impactful play upon them in these last 30 seconds. And they have split up, so he could take 2 individual 1v1s. He's punished Crims there. He's down to 15 HP. Scream going to step out further. Desperate to find JW, but he's going to be tucked in towards the site, so each player going to try and set up a bit of a crossfire towards the bomb. And if they make a peek here, Scream can still punish. 19 seconds, not going to get it. JW. And G2 really not fancying those B hits. This is something we often see from T sides, especially on those lower buys, because they can define these sites a little better, but posturing towards Ivy, a little bit towards main, and it's not gone too well. They're being shredded by the rifles. Body will at least find a bit of a connection there, but that's about all you're going to get in these sort of rounds with Flusher waiting on the other side. And, well, hello, Body. All right, doing a good bit of damage. 2 kills for him, but down to 10 HP. Shouldn't be allowed to get away with much more.
Respectable, at the very least, considering the circumstances leading into this round, but it's going to be JW jumping past the circle.
It is an interesting question, and yeah, he's not going to go for it. Maybe looking for that later if required, but not exactly known for his T-sided AWPing either. CT side maybe plays to his style a little bit better, but still, he will have to look towards it at some point here. Shox will be setting up the flash for RPK if he needs to dive forward, which he's going to do. Allows RPK the first peek in case there was a dash of aggression from Fnatic. Not going to be the case. JW is going to walk away as well, but he's still chomping at the bit to get this first shot off.
Rest of G2 moving very quickly to the back of the B bomb site to group up there. As we can see the rest moving in. Smiths running around the back there along with a few others. Fnatic have a pretty solid setup. 2 on the B bomb site, fully committed too. It's not like you have that floater inside of Z waiting to go in the other direction there, but JW moving his way up does get quite a bit of early damage on to Scream, bringing him down to 15 HP. Not sure how much he spotted beyond that, but regardless now, he's going to pull back way over to the back of upper there and wait for them to push out onto this site. And you can tell now from all the smokes, Molotovs, basically everything that G2 have in their arsenal. That should call for the rotation pretty quickly, but still nothing for Fnatic. They move in, and RPK, he finds that first kill against JW. Yeah,
great late flashes from G2 coming out, making it hard for JW to find any angle, but Olaf Meister will not struggle in such circumstances, but Body's going to still find at least something back into this, with Flusher being caught out. Now down to the 3v3, the plant, of course, favorable for G2, going to make it a little bit tougher for Fnatic for here. They're going to work their way back in. Scream waits ever so patiently, and down in this 2v2, it's Olaf and Crims to play the retake as best they can, and Scream's having none of it, like a force of nature locking down this site. Looks for a further follow-up, not going to get it, so Olaf Meister down to the 1v1. He's on the ace here, and he needs to close it out if he wants this round.
Tapping on the bomb, but Smiths is
winning. Try and get aggressive. If they can keep themselves maybe a rifle, or bring something over, or do any damage again, this would be a huge benefit to them, but JW is going to posture towards maybe one of the most perfect. Normally, you've got to try and find a way to work them in.
And Body knows that someone's probably going to be pushing up from ladder room too. He's had his eyes 100% posted up on that for the past few minutes now. As we can see, though, he actually looks away from it, but that is going to be giving Shox an opportunity to push back in and give coverage to it. So these guys just don't get flanked on their exits or anything, making sure that they keep all the guns in check, and that Fnatic basically don't want to escape with anything in this round, that it's basically just a waste of time. They're going to try to move into the site, but here we go. They're being picked off now. Scream finds the first one. Smiths has the cross angle to take down Olaf Meister on his attempt to escape back towards CT spawn. We're getting a bit aggressive there, finding Dennis. Bit of trouble with the second one. Flusher will take him down, and that actually might
by here. So Crims, sure, not in the most ideal position with the Mag 7, but there's places for this on this map anyway. And with JW on the AWP, enough utility to hold back an initial push or whatever G2 might plan. This is still perfectly fine for Fnatic. They are still in the lead. And for Smith, we're yet to really see that AWP play come out for him.
We're going to see a bit of a change up there. Shox initially was moving in. Looks like he's actually going back to spawn. Yep, just to get some extra utility into his arsenal there. So picking that up before the timer does expire and moving in now. We do have a shotgun buy coming out for the Fnatic side too. Crims is going to be playing towards the ladder room, and there could actually be some action in that direction depending on the way that G2 want to formulate themselves here. Some nades going out to the B-bomb site, and it does look like the players are shifting in that direction now. So again, leaving a lot onto Olofmeister to try and hold this in the event the take does come into this site.
Well, G2 have been pretty successful at this. On the gun rounds, they have been considering B far more than that A hit that was their pistol kind of plays. So it worked out pretty well before. It could do again. We're going to find out pretty soon. Shox putting down the smoke, the molly to follow. It's going to be Olofmeister and JW to be the first point of contact, but still, here comes G2. Let's see how far they can get in this.
JW hitting Shox through the wall there and only knocking about half of his HP off from the shot, though, and so far, Olofmeister not finding anything. The good news is the rest of Fnatic are on the way, and Crims will have a late flank opportunity opening up due to his position from the ladder room earlier on, but now the aggression coming in. Body taking up a spot, and Shox overwhelming JW. Dennis finds a response, but look at Olofmeister. Just walks right up. Thankfully for G2, he only grabs one kill. Scream trades it out, but in comes that flank from Crims, just going to be denied by Smiths. Shox finding another one. Flush is the last one alive in a 1v2, but he has such a little positional advantage over G2 that he might as well fall back and save. Trying to go for the spray, but he runs out of ammo. Switches to the pistol. Somehow Scream doesn't kill him, so he finds that frag, but now with an up on the ground in front of him, it's time to run. The timer's too low. He's going to give this one to Smiths, and it'll be a 10th round for G2.
Yeah, Scream having an absolute mare in that situation, then pretty much whipping a hell of a lot of things, but a round nevertheless into
well here for G2. Flush still having his own up to try and work with, but probably not going to be given really any good opportunities to work with it here. As now that G2 have found those two openers, they're actually going to give themselves a bit of pacing, holding back for a couple of extra seconds, sucking out some of the members from Fnatic, but they are focusing big time on this push from the Ivy area. Moving into it now to see what they can find against Fnatic.
Flusher still holding a couple of cards close to the chest. Might be able to find some work here. Flashes eventually coming through for G2, bullying their way out. Dennis still working with USPS, and this guy's notorious for it. Don't doubt him. He could have found more towards RPK, but it's Flusher coming in, and that's the bomb. Suddenly, there's a dangerous threat aboard here. Now Fnatic back with a shot into this round. A slim one, may I add, because it is that deadly combo. Scream and Shox, the headliners here, having to find one singular man. And look at them, already so cautious, so hesitant, so scared to put themselves into play. But there you go, bomb's going to go down. Scream being the bodyguard. But here comes Flusher, he misses the sitter. He took it a little too quickly. He had the time on towards Scream, but he didn't take enough of it. Scream will punish, and G2 bring this one back all even. And well, there won't be any wishes in this one coming through because, well, Sabotage isn't here, neither is Henry, but this is a very, very interesting scoreline we've got on our hands.
Dennis gets that miracle opener. Somehow they didn't notice him sitting up on top of the first train outside of Ivy. Gets 2 kills basically for free, and even that third one, the RPK was able to recover, but it still didn't feel like he had a full grasp as to where he was playing from for a second there. But then Flusha also has an opponent with his back turn, and he misses the op shot. That could have completely turned that round in a different direction. But for the G2 guys, they do still close it out. 4 rounds in a row now for them after Fnatic took the first 3. We'll see where they can take this next buy. Fnatic still have theirs going though, and it is a double op setup from these guys as well.
And JW doesn't have one of them. That's the next interesting factor, at least in my eyes. It's Dennis and Olof. JW playing B, going to be up close, playing with the M4. You got Olofmeister supporting just behind, but you can see the intention from G2 here. They want that B hit so far. Shox and RPK leaning towards it already. You've got Scream, maybe playing a little on the rotate, maybe to catch anyone around the back, or just to keep some presence towards that A side. But already Olofmeister says a big no towards Shox, going to deny his passage, and JW so close now there's no one else coming through just yet. So I still very tentatively put towards that A side.
Scream also moving in now, trying to push the short lane up from T-Con. Crims is going to find another pickup. This is turning out to be a pretty bad decision from G2, to be honest, because not only have they flubbed this, but JW's moving in. He's going to find the first 2 kills up in the grill of both Smiths and Body. Friends, both of them are pushing back up that ladder room, and they do punish G2's late decision to throw off the inner hit.
And the money's not looking great now for G2. Swings and roundabouts here between these two guys. G2 not able to stabilize thoroughly. These rounds haven't been, back-to-back. They've not been strung together for them. Fnatic keeping themselves extremely deadly, extremely viable throughout this one. And that double AWP, it may not have come out perfectly in that, but it certainly played a role. JW being able to hold that close angle allowed so much room for Olofmeister to be able to focus towards that upper side. And as you said, that hesitation from G2, it pretty much meant that round was done and dusted. Now, down to the pistols. Maybe time to have a discussion as to what can we do here. Can we get a bomb plant? Can we try and hit that B site? with Fnatic being so close by, with them not allowing any freedom, it's going to be incredibly hard to get towards.
They will basically go for a solidified push. G2 moving into this round. As you can see, all 5 players very quickly stacking up at the back of the offside. And Olofmeister is going to spot this, but the first shot actually misses. JW even almost caught out, but look at this. It's just an absolute massacre from JW. Has the Molotov, kills 3 of them with the rifle, burns another one. He does end up going down at the end of the day, but it doesn't even matter. Shox is killed by a hopping Olofmeister, and it'll be a 13th from Fnatic.
Well, JW just starting up the barbecue already. 13-11 now. Fnatic a couple of rounds away from keeping themselves in this major. G2 need to start being very, very careful now. Double AWP coming out for them. Smiths and Shox both going to pick those up. We haven't seen too much of this yet from G2. This is a big round. This is starting to become do or die, and they know it. This is their tournament life on the line. Next couple of rounds will define the future of these 2 teams. Let's find out how this one goes. Double AWP on both sides. And already G2 going for a bit of a start, a bit of a default. Taking the time, but Smiths with quite the aggressive peek here. Looking for some real estate out towards that A site, but 4 players waiting on the other side.
And Fnatic again with a very big emphasis on the A site hold here, specifically Dennis just outside of the Ivy area where we do have a lot of pressure coming in from G2 in that department here. Shox is going to be smoked off, won't be able to catch Dennis moving in on the cross there, and Flush as well will be able to support in the event the push comes from that direction, but he's also got to be focused on players like Scream, who tried to push the short lane in the past to get some quick control of the site, which the rest of his team can use to then venture further out and eventually take control of the whole damn thing.
1 minute left to go. Both teams know the ramifications of this round. They know how much this one means. You can see Dennis sitting pretty far back here. Working down Ivy, Shox and RPK. The rest waiting to see what comes of it. 47 seconds. Still the smokes there with G2 as well. First one goes in, a couple more to follow. Dennis doesn't care, RPK goes down, but Shox gonna continue forward. Scream's found a way through. Already a couple of shots come his way, so hesitation starts being shown, but Body doesn't care. And there we go, Scream finally finds his way through, Body finds another. He has found massive impact into this round, and it's down to a 2v2 now. Scream and Smiths have to do it all. Olofmeister with a bit of a cheeky jump up and above with the AWP to hand. Doesn't get any fruit for that labor. And now Crims, 1v2, 15 seconds. And the bomb is nowhere to be found. They have to take the fight, and Crims is having none of it. Look at it, Smiths already falls to his hands, and Scream gonna walk in, and it's down to Crims.
Shout and punishes both of them with 2 separated 1v1s that he handles with no problems whatsoever. G2, their money's not going to be in the best place once again, and since it's going to be the 14th round, they decide to force it up here. They're going to go for it. It's Tech 9 armor for every player. For those that can afford utility, they've grabbed it, but for RPK and Shox, they can't really bring too much to the table besides their smokes.
You could argue that bomb being left in main was a bit of a factor in that previous round, but into this one, clean slate coming in for G2. They have to recover something. As I said, if Fnatic get to 15, you've got to feel that Fnatic can grind out that final one no matter what. Dennis still being ever so present towards Ivy, but not going to be challenged out this time. Body's backing away, so G2 looking for opportunities, but not too much on the board for them here.
G2 just looking at options now as well as far as what they can try to take with this measly little Y they've gone for. This is it. This is going to be one of their last big attempts to try and find a way back into this match. They need to, at the very least, try to guarantee a plant in this situation so they can get that bonus money and try to force up a little bit beyond this, since they're going to be pretty close to the full losing bonus after this if they should lose it. But the dream here would be just outright win it and keep the game close. But their initial attempts, Ladderum's going to get mollied off. You can see they're just stuck here. It's Scream and RPK. There'll be a push in a moment here from Shox, but even he's hesitating pushing towards Ivy because of that looming pressure here. Crims up on top now. He can hear the plant coming in, but he's focused on Screen by Evox. Looking for RPK. Can't actually find him all that much. So initially G2 are getting good control, but no frags, and they've taken damage as well.
G2 getting away with murder here, though. They've been able to get themselves in a good position into this one, and oh no, Body taking down Smith. That's ridiculous. That's huge at this point. You can't be allowed to do that. Shox will find one back, but now everything's up in the air. It's still to be fought for. 3v4 though, Fnatic have the favor.
Shox waiting for some peeks to come out there. That's a good shot at a flush. A quick flick from him. Scream going to be falling back into ladder just to play it safe for now. There's some hesitation from Fnatic, but they're moving over. They're going to be jumping onto the bomb.
And
there's no
here. 15-11 now. Let's remind ourselves history is often written by the victors of war, and so far it's looking like Fnatic are on the verge of walking away with this one. Again though, this final round has to come through. It has to be sealed. And Shox fought so bravely in that previous round to keep this one even close, but let's see if he can keep his head held high as this is the final throw of things here.
solve for Fnatic now. Looking to try and move themselves through in this event. Smith's an attempt to boost up there inside of T room as well to try and take down Flush. He almost had the connection, but was off by just a little bit there. So that'll prompt Molly coming in from Fnatic to hold them away for a little bit longer. G2 are looking for a way to get themselves into the A-bomb, so they still have a decent buy to work with in this round, but they need to impact right from the get-go as this take, and Fnatic already have a very good idea as far as what's going to be thrown at them in this round, so it's going to be hard already because they've sort of countered it out with their positioning.
However, Shox and RPK have a good opportunity here. Dennis will be the one opposing them. If played through, Flusher looking towards main. Again, Fnatic quite pushed up towards main. Flusher and Crims both watching that. And you can see a little bit of an aggression going to come out from it. RPK connects perfectly towards Dennis. Scream towards Crims, and suddenly we have a game on our hands here, Blue.
Flusher only able to grab one against Smith there with Scream, finding a quick response. Shox with another one, and it's just JW now, who tried to work for the flank, pushing in from the B-bomb side. He pushed up for a long time ago, but Body is waiting. Crush this before it even gets close to overtime. So the force comes in now from Fnatic. It's not great, grant you. Mainly upgraded pistols with armor. Olofmeister is able to get a mag 7. But we've seen these rounds pull off match-ending rounds plenty of times in the past. So I wouldn't necessarily say Fnatic have a 0 chance of closing this out, especially with the aggression coming out. RPK might find his match, but the flashbangs end up working out in his favor. He's able to take down JW.
The tank almost got a little overzealous there. Got to be careful. He did tag up Olofmeister, but he's still alive. He's got 45 HP to play with, so still present. And there's still such a threat, as you said. This is the thing. We've seen games ending on rounds like this, especially when it's Fnatic. There's ways they do it. No one can account for it. It shouldn't happen, but it does. So don't write them off just yet. But still, this is G2's round to lose, essentially. They shouldn't lose it at all, but it's mentally their game to throw away if they start getting hesitant. We saw it being a problem before. Hopefully it won't be again into this round for them, as they need to take themselves towards one of these sites pretty soon. 1 minute left on the board. It looks like an A hit's going to be coming through. Crims could be instrumental in halting this if they do go down through pop. Crims waiting to see if anyone does come through, but no. Again, G2 taking their time here.
Crims trying to determine where exactly he would like to play from the optimal position for him to try and move against the movements from G2. However, we can see them pushing to the back of the B-bomb site now, and this is going to be all Olofmeister with just a measly little mag 7 in his hands, and also half of his health already gone. The support is coming in very quickly, though, thankfully for him. Flusha arriving in the site.
Oh, no.
There's walking right into Olofmeister. 1.5 kills basically already. Shox finding the trade. Scream and Body with 2 more. There's that defense gone from Fnatic now. It's just Dennis. He's picked up 1 kill against Shox, but they know exactly where he's hiding at now. But there's a second. We're not done just yet. Dennis holding a strong position behind the bomb train. He's got to get some further movement, though, as right now he's stuck here, and he's only been able to punish overt aggression from G2. Moving out, though, looking for Body down to 7 HP. There's only 1 more to go. It's Scream hiding in the back, but he's got 4 bullets. He's found a gun, picks up the shotty. What is this battle? Dennis moving up. He's going to use those 4 bullets, but Scream somehow keeps it together there. And it'll be...
It's almost time to break their spirit. Let them have a couple more, like 1 more round maybe, and then we snap them in half. Let them have a couple of dreams start building, and then no. Again, though, this is one that Fnatic's just going to have to go through. There shouldn't be too much done from them. They have 0 almost. They have 1 P250, that's it. So even with an exceedingly good read, those rifles, that utility should always be put down and always played out perfectly. See if it does.
So not expecting anything too great from Fnatic here. It's basically the full save. P250 on Olaf, but I think that's the only real buy they've done. No utility either. The guys on the CT side here. Olofmeister taking up a position we have seen JW do a few rounds before. Sitting just below the ladder room. Shox is going to move out, but that only confirms the suspicions that there is someone hiding underneath in the basement there, below the ladders. The rest of them now from G2, taking their time, very spread out, but Olofmeister finds his first mark on the Scream. Unfortunately, gets a bit over-aggressive, trying to retrieve that gun, and Smith will trade it out.
And it looks like Fnatic going to be putting all their bodies, well, barring Flusher, excuse me, in towards B. 3 players there just hoping for something. Bearing in mind, G2 have been actually favouring those B hits quite substantially, so maybe not a bad read at all, and my word, it's coming this way. And just as it starts to build, Crims, Dennis backs away, so maybe a little bit of, I don't know, luck towards the side of G2 or just a read, but Flusher being so far, seeing nothing, this is quite curious that they've gone for this sort of play, and Fnatic had players here, but no one now left to challenge. JW going to be trying to come back around. Flusher's got a good spot, but Body already watching it. Means that G2 are very aware in this round. They shouldn't start losing things, but Flush has found a rifle. Dennis has found Smiths. What is happening? RPK and Shox, do not let this one slip. These are the rounds you do not lose. And Fnatic are knocking at the door of a victory. Now Shox and RPK again will be asked the same question.
Flusher rounding the corner now. He's got an opportunity.
No.
And even without armor, we can see Dennis moves in. He finds the final kill.